Oh shit.
Are we live?
We are.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
Oh man, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy, was this the 5th week into 2025?
So Irv Gotti passed away?
I didn't hear anything about that, but I also haven't been scrolling today.
I literally went to Facebook. I heard that I heard that she had he was like in the ICU or something like that, or on life support. And I just seen somebody post like, yeah, it's a dub. Whoa. Didn't expect to hear that.
Not it's a dub, yo.
I didn't even know he was sick like that.
I didn't know anything either.
That's crazy. Also crazy.
But
I don't see our live on
hmm?
if I don't see our live. I can't find it on what's name?
On IG?
No, on Facebook.
Oh. Mm-mm-mm.
So what's going on? Like,
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to fix something.
nah, I could multitask.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So we're supposed to be talking about dating in the electronic age, guys. Dating in the age of social media on these dating apps. So I don't have a lot of experience on dating apps. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm professional or nothing like that. I only tried Tinder once, and this had to have been like 8 to 10 years ago, maybe.
Mm.
Um, I had been like, all right, I'm gonna put myself out there. Went, Tinder was the first big thing, so I went and set up my profile and set up my pictures. And back then, I was still modeling, so I definitely did use some of my model pictures and set up my profile and was like instantly overwhelmed.
Why overwhelmed?
Well, so I did I did two things I wouldn't do now. One is I would never use my model pictures now because so much of the initial contact people try to make with you is based on superficial stuff. So I would never use my professional pictures on a dating profile again because I think it kind of casts too wide a net, almost like too much. There's too much traffic, and then I also put a link to my IG in my profile, which
Oh,
brought a lot of people through there.
that was a lot.
They had a link for your social media, like.
Yeah, that's still wow. I wouldn't even put my real name. I
I
didn't
think there's
put
something morally wrong with that.
I didn't put a fake name. I just didn't put my real name.
So what do you mean, sir? You're gonna
I,
if
I can put
it's
sometimes
not real, what is it?
I would put D-E-E. Sometimes I would put Chris for Christopher. Like I didn't always
Is
put
that
my
your middle name?
we went over this. That's mad embarrassing to say that in public.
For me or you?
You
No, it's not. Not at
Yes,
all.
we've been to Starbucks and you've heard me order stuff and say my name is Chris. We've had this
I'm
conversation.
sorry. My sister lies about her name, and my bestie lie about their name all the time. I probably just thought that's what you were doing.
No, we had a whole conversation about club names and all that stuff.
Mm.
Different names you use when
I'm
you go out.
sorry. That one did get filed in the
I feel like
registry.
you told me you didn't use a lot of fake names when you go out, or you don't use any fake names.
Mm-mm.
Right. I remember the conversation because we had it when you was like Chris. I was like, "That's my middle name. How didn't you know that?" You was like, "Oh, I think you told me before." Yeah. Oof. Oof.
All right, so you used to use your other name. Um, and I was instantly overwhelmed with like the traffic, figuring out who to respond to. What was funny was I actually ended up getting matched with my ex-husband and a real ex. So I thought that was funny. Um, or well, Tinder, you could like in both directions. So it wasn't so much that I matched; it's just that my exes saw me and they liked me. And I went like my ex husband. I was like, you better match with me. Blah 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 blah. Like we're both on the apps and shit. So anyway, we could joke like that. Um, just like starting too many conversations at once. Um, I just had no boundaries for how to do things because I didn't know. And so when I did like really hit it off with somebody and had set up a date, I just instantly got rid of that.
Mm.
Once I was like, okay, he's not crazy. I don't feel like he's going to kill me, and he seems like a decent person.
The
Good
fact that
conversation.
that was the baseline. Like,
Oh no, absolutely.
I don't think he's gonna kill me.
I don't think he's gonna kill me. So, safety on these apps is a big deal.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Especially with black women, the last few stories I've seen was crazy.
Nope, exactly. Nope. There's certain things you should not do. I mean, like now, I follow a page even though I'm not on any apps right now. I follow a page called A Little Nudge, like a little nudge. And she gives like
That's the
you can
name of the
pay
app.
her, huh?
That's the name of the app.
No, that's the profile on Instagram.
Mm.
And this lady, she like coaches people. I've been following her because she just gives good dating advice as well. But her specialty is helping people set up their app profiles, and you can like pay her to coach you one on one and stuff like that. But like her general information is like so on point, and everything from what app you should use to setting up your profile. She if you want, you could hire her. She'll take the pictures for you for your app if you don't have good enough pictures, and then consulting during the dating process and such for not. So um that being said, like I said, I'm not a pro, but I had my little run in, and probably if this next round of dating doesn't go through, I might end up on the apps again. Who knows? But I would definitely, like I said, not use my professional pictures. I would definitely you. The goal is to be the best version of your authentic self. That's how somebody put it, and I just thought it was amazing. The best version of your authentic self. You want to look the way you actually look. You want to put your actual age. You want to really depict who you are. You don't want to pretend to be like everyone else because you want to stand out. You want to appeal, but you don't want to appeal to everyone because you're the same as everybody else. You want to make sure the important parts of you are showing. So, do you have any experience on the dating apps?
Yes.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Do you talking about Spiral of Manhood, Devon, or like book number 4? Like, yeah, I got a little crazy. 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 So, what had happened was I forgot that when I'm on when we do live from my phone. I mean, from my profile, I can't go live. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go live. It's you. I don't know if that should make sense.
Okay, I got you.
Right. I have to like go through another profile. Anyway, so the first one that I did, There was Plenty of Fish.
POF. I've heard things about POF though.
And my man had put me on because I was going through some things at the time. My man was like, "You want a quick rebound? Nigga, go on Plenty of Fish." I just had a threesome off that bitch. I was like, "What?" So I was like, "It sounds like a good user review. Let's see what's going on here." So I went, I used it, and I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't like it. Like, funny enough. Some chicks I wound up, I say like 3 or 4 women that I met in real life wind up like they're like big social media stars now. Now I say stars, but they all have over 150,000, maybe 250,000 followers. Real shit. And I met them on Plenty of Fish. Um, it wasn't easy for me, but I think I was in a different space where I was like, I'm not gonna admit the time that I went on Plenty of Fish, but actually, so I wasn't the first one I used. The first one I used ever was Match.com, and I paid for a profile. Yes.
I forced one of my friends to set up a match.
So I did Match, and the reason why I did Match was because I was single and I was tired of being single. Wait,
Okay.
what happened?
I
I
think I
was
think
single.
I think why you do it is a big factor.
Right. So here's what happened. So Plenty of Fish is like, how can I explain Plenty of Fish? Plenty of Fish is like, I can't say the strip club, like a club where bitches is twerking. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of the floor, they're like, "Oh, bust it open, bust it open." Niggas got on Timbs. You know what I mean? You ever been to one of those parties? You go to your friend party, you're like, "What? What the fuck did I walk into?" You know what I'm saying? That's Plenty of Fish. Plenty of Fish is a club where niggas can wear leather jackets and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, "Oh, there's a lot going on here." We're like, I don't even understand. So Plenty of Fish is kind of wild. Plenty of Fish was kind of wild, right? Now, Match.com was more like a lounge
Okay.
that didn't blast music, but it was
Yeah.
nice music. Maybe a live band twice a week. You know, Tuesdays and Fridays to get a live band. You know what I'm saying? That's what Match.com was like. And the reason why I say that is because Match.com, it got a little ratchet. Not even say a little ratchet. There were some women on there that were ratchet. But every woman I dealt with on Match.com was like, when you gonna be my boyfriend? There was no middle ground. It was like dating a girl in Ghana. It was like, yo, nah, like what the fuck? This is happening. Um, and there wasn't one girl. I don't even see the live. Are we live on Instagram? That's crazy. I don't even see the live from my other profiles. Oh, hold on. So anyway, yo, that's crazy. I don't see the live.
Did you hit go live?
Fuck me. I forgot you had to do it. You've been doing it for so long.
I know. That's how I felt when you switched it back to me.
Oh man. And it says we hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me figure this out. I need people looking at my nose and shit. And yeah, I just hit go live.
Sorry, IG family.
What up,
Sorry,
Ray?
IG family.
Yeah, I wilded out with that one, y'all. I wilded out with that one. What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? We
So
on here. We live.
we warmed up. We
Yeah,
warmed up already, you guys.
we warmed up. We warmed up. Sorry, IG. We talking about dating apps and dating on apps and what it look like and what it is and what it was and what it does. You feel what I'm saying? So I was just talking about my experience. And one of my experiences so I was talking about Plenty of Fish and how Plenty of Fish is ratchet like a club that you go to when niggas got on Timbs and hoodies and girls are twerking in the middle of the club. And Match.com is a little bit more like a lounge, still loud. You may hear some Cardi B, but for the most part, you can hear the person you with, right? So when I was on Match, I had some interesting experiences. I dated a cop. I dated a girl that was almost my girlfriend, like really close to being my girlfriend. But I mean, listen, God don't make no mistakes, right? So every time I was like really into it, she wasn't. When she was really into it, I wasn't. And it didn't really match, unfortunately. No pun intended, actually. And this is why I don't go in this profile. I've opened it twice. And I just asked, like, goddamn. So yeah, this profile's crazy. Yeah, that's this profile, and literally in the description it says, "Hey, some funny shit and a little TNA." Like, so anyway, so at Match.com, I realized that the women were really serious. Like, all of the women were like, "Yo, like, I am
They're paying.
no, yeah. Rachel said that she seen you at an event in the city a couple of weeks ago. You look
So what?
good, girl. My friend Rachel, she said that she seen you at at an event recently.
Oh, was it the Must Love Beards?
Oh, you went to that? I get emails from them all the time. Meanwhile, I ain't got. But
Yeah, I went to. This was the first one I went to in New York.
okay. Um, but yeah. So what I was saying was I was saying that I seen that yeah, the woman was serious. It's crazy because the girls that I actually like the most, I showed the least interest in. Yo, it's weird. All right, so she may not be as aesthetically pleasing as the rest. You know what I mean? She said yes. That's what she's seen. I don't know if you can't see the comments or not, but anyway,
Mm-mm.
so yeah, so that's where I seen her there. I seen her there. My mind's all over the place. So I went on a couple of dates with her, and then every time we would come back to the crib, I would fall asleep on her because I met her during tax season, and I was like, you know what I mean? I was going through it, fam. I was going through it, and I feel like I think that's the first. That was the first year I had an office. I think, and either way, it was a lot going on, like a mug, and I was just like, yo, this is a little bit a lot.
A
I
little
don't
bit, a lot.
a little bit a lot. Just a little bit a lot right now. I don't know. And long story short, I was just like, I gotta figure this out. So we wound up not dating again, maybe until like the summertime. And when we dated that summer, it finally went down. Oh God, she was a different person. But she was like mad smart. She was like, that's another thing. I met a lot of no woman that I met didn't have a career on Match. So Match.com women like maybe not, I don't know, career might be interesting, but they all had really good jobs. Everybody had their
So,
own crib or they live with their moms by choice.
well, when Match.com came out, it was kind of revolutionary as far as the dating apps went because I think it was the first time that they started filtering people for you, unlike Plenty of Fish, where everyone just could whatever. I think that was the first time, like they interviewed, they asked you all those questions before they let you set up your profile.
Mm.
And they seemed to be the first one that had like an algorithm for you to be matched with somebody who you were compatible by values.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the first. I'll let you tell it, but I do know
That's just from
for
my memory, from my experience of remembering like the
you might be
commercials
right.
coming out and stuff.
You might be right. I know I didn't get on, so I remember the exact what year this was. But so yeah, I dated one girl that was definitely almost my girlfriend, and like I said, we dated. Oh, back to the other girl. So the other girl I dated, we were actually really like I liked her a lot, but she, you know, over a decade later, she looks way better now. But at the time, she's a little chubby, whatever. And I just feel like with the other women that I was seeing, aesthetically she wasn't. But after we dated again, maybe like 6 months later, I realized that we had more things in common. But by that time, I feel like I had taken some time off the streets. But when we got to that summer, boy, he was back, and I was wilding. So I was just like, I'm wilding. I got all this other stuff going on. I'm not gonna hold you. We had a lot of compatibility to the point where now she's in a relationship, and I have a hard time speaking to her because we still get along so well that I know it'll make anybody's significant other feel some type of way. You know what
Okay,
I
okay, okay.
But anyway, I dated one girl, and I feel like she was almost my girlfriend. Like in the beginning, it was kind of whack, and then towards the end of that year, we wound up like reconnecting, and like we kind of going serious for about good 4 or 5 months, and then I feel like she participated in this event, and participated in that event, I didn't support her the way I wanted to, but I was having car trouble. As a matter of fact, remember I told you about signs? I think I told you that about my ex, like with signs and stuff like that. And there was some signs with her. Every time I would go see her, something would happen in my car. Like one time I went to see her, I just told you the story the other day too. I was crossing the bridge, the G Dub. I got hit. I got hit from the back. Pause. There was another time I got into I had a boot on my car because I forgot the car that I gave my baby mom's registered in my name, and she stacked up all these tickets. So I'm looking at it like it's a Saturday. Why I got a ticket for? I shouldn't have no ticket. So I ain't got no ticket, but there's a boot on my car. I'm like, but wait, what did I do wrong? I was supposed to go see her that day. So the time when she did this event, and she worked really hard for that event too, it was hard for me to get to. Now, in retrospect, she did tell me like you could have spent the night, blah blah blah. But I always felt funny about spending the night at somebody's crib that I'm dating if their kids are there. Like if I do happen to sneak over, I'm out at 5 in the morning. I'm out before your kids know. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
gentleman supposed to do. So I was just like, I didn't know that was even on the table to spend the night. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I don't know. I didn't communicate well. I was still in my 20s. Shit happens. And I feel like after that, we didn't really see each other until maybe around like Valentine's Day of the next year. And I felt like I was initiating too much. And I said, I'm not going to do anything with initiation. Let's see what happens. And nothing happened that night. And then she blamed me for it. Why you initiate? Why didn't you? I always, you know what I mean? I'm not even talking about like sexual stuff. I'm just talking about like a lot of other stuff.
Oh, okay.
Conversation, it like physical, like touching, stuff like that. So that was that. I dated one other girl from there. I told you with the Martin thing, where she was like, if I leave, I'm not coming back. And I was like, I'm willing to take that bet. Yes, that was a girl from Match. So I dated a lot of other women too. I dated like a chef. I dated a lawyer. I dated a cop. A few other women that I can't remember. Oh man, I got some stories from that shit. I forgot. So I think I told a story once about a girl who deaded me because when she came to my crib, I had too many toothbrushes.
Yeah, that was. I don't think
That
that
was
made it onto the pod, but
Yeah, that was a match. That was a match date. Yeah. We went out on 2 dates. The dates was dope. Came back to the crib. Went to the bathroom. She was like, "Oh, what toothbrushes are these?" "Oh, my daughter's." I said, "I think that one's my sister. She had to stay here for a little while." She was like, "Oh, okay." And then she texted me like a week later, like, "Nah, I'm good." I was like, "Wow, that's crazy. What I do wrong? What did I do wrong?"
she's like,
I did everything wrong.
mm.
Exactly.
I'm not
So,
gonna lie. I seen some stuff in some guy's place, and I was like, it's not looking good for bro. Oh,
no, listen. I told that story when I was in VA. What? I was dating this white girl, and I went to VA, and I was going to the bathroom to take a shower because I was spending the night. First of all, she had roommates that I felt like when I walked through the door, they was like, oh, he's black, right? He was like, oh, like that, right? I feel like it was like, how can I say? I didn't feel like it was like they didn't want me there, but it was a shock. Like if you say, oh, I've been dating a guy named
jeez, I wonder what Devon looks like.
right, Devon is not a, you know what I mean? I don't like
It's
TikTok.
not.
You feel me? So if you told me you dating a guy named Dave and you walked through the door and I say a white boy, I'd be like, oh, you could have led with that. Like you should have told. Like, I feel like black people lead with that. Like it's a white guy, you know what I mean? And this white girl, like you feel what I'm saying? All my friends knew that was a white girl. Anyway, when I went in her bathroom and I seen the medicine, nothing contagious, still concerning, still a flag.
Concerning.
No, it was like I was afraid to have sex with her. I didn't have sex with her. I drove all the way, and I went far too. Like I went far for this pussy, and you're not getting none of this because I
I would have
knew.
been like, "What is?"
What do you think I was doing? I had one phone on the video chat with my headphones. Like, yo, yeah, what should I do? And I'm googling the medicine on the other phone. My friend's like, yo, I swear. It was like, yo, it was wild. I wasn't giving her no bomb D. If you about to go, nah, I wasn't hitting it. I wasn't hitting it because I already knew I'm
Yeah.
out of state. Ain't that many black people around. Nah, so I'm not gonna be knocking on nobody's door in my underwear at 4 in the morning. Like, help me, nigga, this girl
Oh
crazy.
my
I ain't want
God.
none of that smoke. So anyway, but anyway, that wasn't an online date.
So
Oh,
I want to go back to your
go
story
ahead.
real quick
Hold on, let me read
because
what Rachel said. Rachel said that she was on the app for 2 weeks, went on one date, and that was enough for her to say, "Nah, this ain't for me, dog." That's what she said. One date.
who said that?
Rachel, she said that. She said she quit after
It'd
one
be
day.
like that.
Metfit 183 said data apps are terrible, bro.
Okay, so let's just put it out. First of all, it's just a tool. How you use it greatly influences what happens on it.
What up, Mel?
So that's the first thing I
I
want to
didn't
say.
know
But
that.
I don't think it's the dating app's fault. I think they do what they're supposed to do.
I got a good segment once we ask when you ask after you ask the question.
And I was going to say one thing I was going to say is that some people say if it is a tool, it's a bad tool in that it emphasizes too much on physical appearance. It's ironic that you said, oh, fucking God. It was ironic that you said, that the girl that was not the least appealing, but less appealing than some of the other matches you had was the one that you had the greatest
Yeah,
chemistry with. Not
yeah,
chemistry, compatibility.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Out of everybody,
I can't hear you. Hold on.
yeah, because they call. You might have to go off and come back on because she can't hear. Well, what I was gonna say, y'all,
The
is that
phone call messed up my ish.
I was gonna say that I feel like a lot of the dating apps, at least the ones that I've used, I feel like some are really serious, and other ones are just for fucking. Like I didn't see like I want to go and date and to get to know you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I didn't feel like that there's like no middle ground app. We need to start a dating app called Let's Get to Know You because either women want to get married or fuck. Like
I
Plenty of
mean,
Fish
certain
and
ones.
Tinder,
Well, I mean,
they trying to fuck. Hmm?
Tinder is known as a hookup app. Grindr is known as
Yeah.
a hookup app.
No,
PO Fish is learned
is the
like
hook app. I don't care whatever they advertise it is. That's nah, nigga. Grinders.
what?
I said whatever they advertise Grinder as, it ain't that. That shit is just a hookup. That shit is like a boom boom room
Well,
or glory hole. That's it.
a glory hole. Not correct. There's a glory hole. Oh my
Right?
God. I was gonna say PO Fish is like a party with no cover charge. There's everybody and anybody in there.
Nah, I told you not. Yeah, and niggas got on Timbs. Remember I said
Yeah,
like,
they got
niggas got
it.
on Timbs. Niggas in there. Hold on, niggas in there like this with the plastic cup. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
The
can't.
clear plastic cup.
A clear plastic cup.
The
Yeah, I
clear
can't.
plastic cup. Word. Yeah, you had a question you said you wanted to ask?
Well, I was gonna say that's what they say. One of the things is they think like it puts too much emphasis on looks, and because it puts so much emphasis on looks, it can have negative effects on you, whether you're the one receiving the attention or not receiving the attention. So
Oh, it could give you bad dopamine hit or fuck with your self esteem. Damn, I am ugly. This is confirming it.
yes, exactly. If you internalize any part of it, whether it's the good, well, you getting a lot or not. It could be because you could, all right, you get your dopamine hit. Some people, so some people are on it who are probably stereotypically good looking or whatever, probably get a lot of hits and action. So one, some advice I saw was turn off the notifications from the app. Because every time your phone goes off, every time you get a notification, not only you drawn to your phone, but it's a dopamine hit like, oh, what's happening? Did someone message me back? Did I get matched again? Da, 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 da. And
You
it
know,
does, it
you
fucks
know
with
what
your
I
brain.
did for Match? It went to like a bullshit email.
Okay.
So that if I look, then I look. Oh, okay, they hit me back from there, and then I would go into the app and see who hit me up. That's how I
Then
did
they
it.
also say don't be on a whole bunch of apps at once.
Yeah, I've never done that.
That, like, I didn't know that you should have boundaries in the dating. Like, I haven't had it, but to like lessen the chances that's going to negatively impact your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You should have boundaries on it, whether it's turning off the notifications, limiting how much time you spend on it a day. I think a little nudge says 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's it. Maybe like 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night to see if you got any messages or replies to something within a timely manner. But don't be on it all day. Just
Swipe, 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 swipe.
because, like, my ex-husband, that was his. Apparently, it's a widely used. Uh, damn, I'm tired. A lot of people think that if you swipe more, you'll get more matches. So I don't know if they changed it now, but that was a approach a lot of men took. Like, they'd pay for the membership so they could swipe unlimited, and then just swipe all day long, not even looking or caring, because apparently women match it back so infrequently that after all that matching, you might only get like 5 or 6 replies, and then half of them are like completely not your type, physically, of course, physically. And then you might actually get one date out of it. But I think they refined the app so it doesn't reward that kind of action no more.
Mm.
So, but she says, a little 10, 15 minutes in the morning, a little 10, 15 minutes at night. Don't be on it all the time. Turn off the notifications. What else did they say to do? Check in with yourself.
How so?
You know,
How?
huh?
How?
Well, we were talking about your purpose for being on it. Not everybody on the app has the same purpose as you. And that was also an appeal of Match.com, is that the people on there were serious because they were paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were serious about making matches. They used something that had a more like uh a more refined system. They took actually more questions about more things that reflected your values and your morals. Um, so so that was part of people taking more serious. But then there's people who are only there to hook up. There are some people who just like are literally, some people are just for hooking up. Some people only have apps for attention seeking.
Hmm.
And they get the likes and they start conversation and it never goes anywhere. They never set up a date. Nothing. They never follow through with anything. They never ask you any questions about yourself. Like, they're not trying to get to know you. I'm sure there are apps for friendship now, and they have so many different demographics and so many specialties on the apps now. There's farmers apps, and there's
Yep.
Muslim apps,
They
and
got.
there's,
I'm about to say that they got Christian apps, Muslim
yep,
apps.
Christian apps,
Yep.
older people apps.
Yep.
They have apps
Yep.
for people who are like teachers, and
Yep. Yep.
so there's like so many
I
different
don't.
demographics.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind that either.
Rachel said, "I know women who are seriously trying to find their husband on apps. They're so set in their careers and don't really go out to socialize. So the apps are their way of getting exposure." Ooh, I like
So
that. But go ahead.
so again, it's a tool. So they say if you're gonna use the app, you should still try to be social, um, a little nudge says she still recommends 3 in-person activities a month, whether that's actually a date or a singles event.
Mm.
Like, still get out and try to meet people face to face because one thing, hold on, they said there's 34 million app users, dating app users in the country.
That's like a tenth of the country. That's
Exactly. And so with so many people on the apps, the thing about the apps is they expose you to high levels of rejection. Like high levels of rejection. If you're not like securing your self-esteem or you internalize the rejection, or like I said, you have to check in because why are you here? If and then also it's supposed to be like fun. It's supposed to be if it's starting to be draining, it's starting to make you feel bad about yourself. If it's like taking away from your life or it's work or if it's a chore, you should probably step away from it.
right. I do want to unpack that a little bit because I feel like um two things. One, I feel like that for men of my generation, that rejection is what it is, right? Like for most men of my generation, we've been getting rejected since third grade. Like it is what it is, right? I do feel like overall it's hard on women, even in my generation, because women in general aren't used to the same amount of rejection that men are. In addition to that, I think for the kids of like our kids generation, like from like 20 like Destiny's age, early 20s to like our kids age, that teens, they haven't had to deal with even maybe early like older, it's like 25. They haven't had to deal with the same amount of rejection that we've had. In that, like if you was born in 2000, believe it or not, you're going to be 25 this year. They were brought up in the everybody gets a prize, everybody gets trophies, participation award. That's the era that they grew up in. So now you take that person, put them on a dating app, and have them get rejected. That's a crazy mental fuck for them, right? I had to go up to girls my whole life and have
Yeah.
them say, "Nah, I ever told you I
That
had a
face
girl
to
dead to
face.
me? I ever told you I had a girl dead me? She said, "Oh no, I can't really highlight you like that. You know, you look because you Dominican." I said, "Oh, I'm not Dominican though. Even still, if I was like, that's wild crazy." She was like, "Oh, but you still look Dominican." And I was just like, and I looked at
You
her
do.
friend. I was like, "What's like? How racist is your friend, bro?" Like, she was like, "I don't know. She got a preference." I'm like, "But still, that's crazy." This one had like braids and shit. Like, you feel me? And this is like high school days. I wanted talking to the friend. I don't know if I ever did anything with the friend, but I wanted talking to the friend at some point. But long story short, I was just like, that's weird. But I've had to have stories like that. So when women, do you know how many women ghost me? How many women don't talk to me? How many women like act funny or weird? I gotta be like, I can't fuck with you no more. Like, how many times that happens and it's like literally like just water off a duck's back? It don't bother me because of the weird shit I had to go through between like the year 1998 and the year like 2007. Like, what the fuck? I went through wild, crazy stuff. So now when I see dating apps and the girls don't respond back or whatever, I keep going. I don't matter. Yo, I don't want to say who it was, but I had somebody tell me recently that their like grandson or whatever was like obsessing over this girl. And as they were telling me the story, and I was like, and I turned around and looked and said, "Yo, he don't have no friends?" And they were like, "Nah." And I'm like, I can tell. Because if I was wilding like that, one of my friends would be like, "Yo, my nigga, you bugging. What are
Oh.
you doing?" Like friends. So now think about that. A lot of kids, again, born 2000, 2010, a lot of those kids don't have friends the way we have friends growing up. So if you don't have friends like that, and all you doing is social media and you dating and you getting rejected and dead as some girl called you ugly, who you think you are? And all this time, you thought that you was regular. Cause you didn't have the cliques and stuff in school to be like, no, you're weird, so stay with the weird friends. You got anime, stay with the anime friends. The basketball friends are with the basketball friends. The niggas that could get girls all the time, that's all they ever do is talk to girls and try to look fly. They got their everybody had a crew.
Yeah.
Now ain't no crews. You just out here trying to find somebody who you finally link with, and they live in Garland, Texas. You never ever heard of Garland, Texas. I don't even know if there really is a Garland, Texas. And you just like,
Okay.
what's going going on?
Yo,
Just weird, bro. Just real
uh,
weird.
that whole having to be rejected to your face thing. Well, they said so. That's valid because they said that people on apps are more likely to have anxiety issues already, which means they're on the app because they think it's safer, and it's not.
Yeah,
There's a misconception
it's the
that
opposite.
it's not safer. They said so. All right, so you send out a message, no one responds. That's a rejection. That's not like getting punched in the face, right? That's neither yes nor no. That's a neutral rejection, right? Nothing's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Versus somebody being like, talk, talk, talk. I don't think I like you. I'm gonna move on. I would say that's an active rejection, right? But you can get rejected passively on apps because depending on the person and their profile, they might reject you before you even like their profile. You just taking strays, reading people's profiles when they're like, no fatties, no blacks, no, no niggas under 6 feet. Like these are strays that they're putting out there because they just have a negative leaning profile. That's more about what they don't want than what they do want. So you don't even got to do anything. You just got to look at profiles to get fucking rejected. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And they said that people who are on apps also not only are usually come in are more prone to anxiety, so they don't want to deal with the in the face thing. So they think doing it behind the phone would be better,
Mm-hmm.
but they tend to be less satisfied because you have because like I said, you're gonna get an overwhelming amount of rejection. You're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and because it's such an emphasis on pictures. So they are actually people who have.
Uh-oh. All right, so while that's happening, um,
Give me a
Bianca
sec. Give
said
me a sec. Give me a sec.
she
These
thinks
people are
that they have
killing me.
um
Give me a second.
it's all right. So Bianca said that I think they have but on social media through likes or lack thereof. And she said, I think getting rejected from jobs gave me thicker skin than getting rejected in a romantic sense. Maybe because I've gone after more jobs and relationships. I also think that's because you're a woman.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, that's it.
hey,
Because men, it would
they
be
get rejected all the
vastly
time.
in the other direction
Yes.
because it's so hard to fucking
I've
apply for
applied for
so many
about
jobs.
1,000 jobs in my life, and I probably saying
I
no
don't think
to a
I've
job.
done anywhere as many as 1,000 jobs.
I don't think it's really 1,000.
Okay,
No,
all right,
maybe
because
I
that's a
have some
lot.
rough unemployment patches in my life. Anyway, Rachel said it also seems difficult to secure a second date if you aren't communicating and getting to know someone before the first date. Once you get on the date, it's like a nitpicking session.
So,
I'm gonna
okay,
tell you
I
how
can
I
see how
got.
that can happen.
I can tell you how I got around that. But go ahead, because
Well, look on,
it'll be true.
a little nudge says don't talk to somebody for over a week before you set a date. Like you could talk to them more than a week if you have a date on the books. If you don't have something set up to meet in
Yeah, right.
person by a week, just leave it because it's just gonna be a waste of your time. Even if you have to be the one to suggest it, it was like, oh, were you interested in actually meeting up? Or you sound so interesting. I would love to continue this in person. Just cut that shit off. Also, don't give out your phone number until a date is set up, and not until right before the date,
Mm-hmm.
because people tend to go to texting from the app. They'll start texting your phone, and then you get the whole "Good morning, what are you doing?"
Yep,
Da da
yep.
da, and that shit will kill whatever interest you have in somebody because it's so boring. It's so boring. So they said keep most of the communication face to face, as much of the communication is face to face as possible, and then follow up after the first date to see if if the person is interested in having another date with
I
you.
think when I was on Match, I think when I was on Match, very few women gave out their number, and I don't think I asked. They were more willing to meet, neutral place, whatever, before they gave you your number. And
Yeah, I think that's a
I didn't
good.
like that. But
And,
the thing that I
and
did to get around the stuff we were just saying, like the nitpicking and whatnot, is when I was dating a lot. And again, this is me in my late 20s, and also me being me and the fucking nerd and all that. I would have very, very set conversations that I would have with everybody. Like we can still hear you. You turn the
shut
phone
up.
out. Put it on mute. So yo, she turns it off to hide the noise, but not with the microphone. What's going on?
No, I just don't want to y'all see me be like.
Nah, that's fine. Put it on mute too. Um, so oh man. So yeah, so what I was saying was I feel like what I would do is I had like between 5 and like 12 or 14 questions. If I got to 14, we were doing good. And because I'm nice, I never just asked the questions. It would always be in conversation. Like, oh, that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
I always wanted to be like, like what were some things that you wanted to be as a kid that you feel like it's like hard to achieve, and like why? Like, like why didn't you go after it? Or are you still going after it? That's a question on my list. But that's also a dope date question. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, asking people like wants and desires, and then you might get into some shit too, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh.
Because me talking about how I used to want to be a vet goes into my love of animals. My
Now
me wanting to be a
that's
doctor was
about you.
forced on me by my mom.
Right.
And then
So I
me
feel
going
like
into marine biology is like scuba diving. I'm still with the animals, but that's one of my little thingies.
exactly. So I feel like asking those questions and stuff like that is something that I think is really, really like important while dating with someone on the app. And yeah, it can get a little, I don't redundant, a little monotonous, but the girls that I was dating on those apps, especially like Match, they were all dope. Like they may not have been for me, but I knew that was somebody out there that looked at this girl like, how did I never get with this girl? You know what I mean? Like, whether it be their careers or their personalities, there was one girl, that one lawyer, I didn't like her. But outside of that, everybody else, I was with it.
Mm.
I also got dated by a chick because she said I looked at too many other girls when I was with her. She was an older woman. Well, she was older than me. She's
Okay.
younger than I am now. But if I was like 27, 28, or 28, 29, she was in her late 30s. And she was just like, nah, you look at too many other girls when we out. And I was just like, I watch my surroundings. I'm not looking at ass. I did look at one girl, but I pointed out to her. I was like, damn, you see that? That's crazy. Anyway, like it was so crazy you couldn't not look. You couldn't not. Everybody was looking. White girls was looking like, sheesh. It was crazy. And I just looked like, yo, you got. And she was bad. So I'm like, how you having this insecurity? Anyway.
The prettiest ones be the most insecure. It's wild.
Yo, she was bad joint. But the weird thing about her was that her son was definitely bigger than me. And like 18, 19, he was sizing me up, and I was in wild good shape at the time. And I was like, I don't know, little nigga, I don't think you can fuck with me. I ain't gonna hold you. You might play football and all that. But I'm talking about like he was like 6'2" and with muscles. I was like, oh, he going pro. This nigga, he different. He going pro. This little nigga big. That's crazy.
Yo.
I caught it this time. Woo!
Oh, did you?
What? I'm sorry, y'all. My lighting, man.
Yeah, we got.
My lighting
Yeah,
broke.
next time we do an in-person thing, we're gonna take care of your lighting.
We got to, and it's not like I don't know, man. Now everything else is all awkward. There we go. I'm just gonna hold you for a little minute. We only got like 10 more minutes left. So anyway, one thing I want to say in these last 10 minutes, or the conversation I want to have in these last 10 minutes, is basically how social media has become dating apps. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see that.
And it all started once upon a time with BBM. Now, there's a few people that I've seen watching that I know that they had BBM. And let me explain you something right now. My BBM was Tinder, Plenty of Fish, with Grinder, pause, pause. But it was all of those ratchet apps put together. If I got your BBM, yo, they used to have BBM groups. Do you? I can't tell you. You got to read a book.
You gonna say BBM? You not even want to talk about AOL chat rooms?
All right. So here's the difference. The AOL chat rooms
Hold on, hold on.
were
Let's just for people who might not know, BBM is BlackBerry Messenger, right?
BlackBerry Messenger.
Okay, because
Well,
I never had a BlackBerry, but I figured it out.
BlackBerry Messenger, what BBM did was it took the ghetto-ness of AOL. It took the ghetto-ness. You know what? BBM was more like Black Planet than
Black Planet.
AOL, because of Black Planet you can have a profile picture.
Yeah.
And I in high school I had a little fun with Black Planet. I was wilding a little bit. Like that's the closest taste I got to like MySpace or Facebook in high school, right? With Black Planet. Then you got the AIM, because you was on Instant Messenger with Black Planet, but you got the Instant Messenger with AIM and stuff like that. And then with BBM, and don't get me wrong, Facebook was like the dating app when I was in my early 20s. I mean, that's Facebook, MySpace. But
Oh,
BBM took it to another level, because you could meet a girl on MySpace, get her BBM, and it changes everything. Because you can see my profile pic, you can see what I put on post. I have my little thing in there. I can comment. We go back and forth. Yo, BBM was a cesspool, bro, and I was swimming all in it. It was crazy. So you talking about BBM? Yours truly said AIM. Just Glenn said Black BLK is another ratchet app, and I'm just like, yo,
BLK. I
I'm
haven't
not,
been on. I didn't go on
I haven't been
BLK.
on that either. But I'm telling you, BBM started it. Once BBM started to fade away, that's when MySpace was already popping. Cause when I was 22,
Yo, I
I can't
can't.
I can't even tell you the model work I got on fucking MySpace. And MySpace wasn't meant for that. I was meeting chicks in Texas, in Virginia, you name it. 6 degrees of separation was crazy, and I was wilding off on MySpace. Calm down. Facebook was like the classier app at the time, believe it or not. The young people who might
I don't
watch.
think I had Facebook back then. That was more like you had to. First of all, you probably
You had
had
to
to
be
be in college.
you had to be
You
in
didn't really
college.
know about it unless you had a sibling who
Right.
was in college.
Right. So my cousins and some of my mans that played ball, they had the Facebook, but I ain't have it. Cause when Facebook came out, I was in college, but I don't think my school had an association. So then what happened was my supposed to be my last year in college, I started working at MasterCard. And then by that time they started offering associate. So if you look at my Facebook, it still say my association to be into Facebook is through MasterCard. Because I was a MasterCard employee. So that's how I got in. Because they had like
Okay.
MasterCard, if you work for like um whatever big company, then you could get on, because the companies use that as a tool to do events and stuff like that, and invite their people on. Immediately, I didn't use it for that, but I wasn't wilding on Facebook, no lie. This might surprise some people, until like 2016. After me and my ex broke up, I started really wilding on Facebook, because I had gotten, for some reason, when I was in my relationship, and this is why I'll never be public with a relationship like that again. Like, listen, my girl got, if you want to post me, go ahead, but make sure your page is private. Like, I'm not posting you, because I started to get really popular when I was in a relationship, and it wasn't good for that. But after we broke up, it was to my advantage, and I started wilding the fuck out. So I'm just putting that out there. That was my run. But the last thing I wanted to say is like how I just want to do a time check. How, like, I'm not on the fucking phone. How the last thing I wanted to say was like how social media became the new dating app.
Well, I would say, you talk about Facebook and wilding on Facebook. I think around that time is when Facebook groups came out, and that made a huge difference. So then now we had groups based on interest and areas, and it was just
Yeah.
all types of stuff. It had cesspools and it had not so much cesspools, but either way, everyone was posting pictures. So it
30
became a
seconds. 30
very much
seconds. When you
Freaky
know,
Friday was invented
you
in
know.
Facebook groups.
Yo, Freaky Friday, 30-second. Oh God, that's an offline conversation. I can't even talk about that publicly.
I
Boy,
can't.
I seen some shit for some women that now be in church. I be like, girl, you was giving it up crazy about 7, 8 years ago. Hey, don't let it be a snow day and you in the Facebook group.
Oh,
Don't let it be a snow day and niggas at home and you in the Facebook group. Lord. I remember inviting
actually,
a few
I
of my friends
think
to a few groups. Niggas is calling me on the phone. Is this happening right now? I'm like, it's happening.
I
We
think
going
the
crazy.
majority of the people I've dated
Yeah,
has been from Facebook.
Facebook group.
Yep.
From a
Because I
Facebook group,
never
not
really
just a
got on the
Facebook,
safe
but a
one
group.
of date that dating app thing wasn't really for me. I like the appeal of I like laying in the cut and seeing people watching, observing, and seeing if I'd really like them or not based on what they do, what they post, what they say. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. It kind of gives you a little bit of familiarity, kind of thing. So that's why what appealed to me. That's why I was more approachable under those settings than other ones because I got to already decide if kind of like real time you're sitting there typing and participating and stuff like that. Then it was like, all right, let me look at his profile, see what he posting real quick, what he interested in. Da, da, da.
Right. What helped me with that is that there was also in-person events. So you could
Yeah,
meet somebody with no commitment to time for them. So there were a lot of women that I met at a Facebook group event that I did not like in person. And that saved me whatever amount of money I would have spent on a date on the dating app.
agreed. I 100% like the in person events definitely. And you got to work the room, and no one got to be offended or whatever. You go talk to everybody. Da, 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 you go slide the DM later.
Yep.
It didn't
Exactly.
even have to be public. You didn't even have to ask for the digits in public. Just go hit them up
Nah.
later.
I mean, I feel like they could have you could have been the reason why I was at the event. We could have coordinated that. Like, hey, you going blah blah blah, and then you hang out, maybe dance a little
That
bit.
that used to happen. People used to hit me and be like, "Oh, you coming through?" And I never took it as like, "Oh, I'm going to see you." But hey, what you doing? You coming? Like I was,
How you tap around it. You feel me? You tap around it.
yeah.
Like, yo, like, what you trying to do? All right, because you
All
never know.
right.
Like,
Oh, see you next time if you can't come. Like,
bro, like people go there be weird, and you like, I'm not on that energy, and then you just keep it pushing. Give them a
yep.
hug, yo. I'm about to head out, and then you boogie, and that's it. But yo, nah, that was a time between 2015 and like 2018. Boy, it was different in Facebook
I
groups.
agree.
It was different in Facebook. I feel like COVID kind of oddly enough, I think COVID killed all that.
You think so?
After COVID, there's a few Facebook groups I'm in that's still popping, but they also do they're Facebook groups that's based on doing stuff in person, whether it be traveling, whether it be events. They still do events all the time. They still travel all the time. Lifestyle groups, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they're always on like so that energy is never gonna go away. That's like something that sports groups still be popping because they have a very specific niche that they fill. But like just social groups, us just meeting up and having fun. Nah, people are like for what?
Hmm. I would
I don't see what
say,
it's on
well,
like
from
that
my
no more.
own experience, I've definitely have not been on Facebook since COVID. And to the point where it's kind of like, dang, I think they finally stopped inviting me. Like, but I'm still a member, but they stopped inviting me, like sending me specific events and shit like that.
Mm,
Even though I'll still pop out and shake the room real quick and then go.
that's shaking the room. All right, we got 1 minute. What's your last word?
Well, no, we don't have. How long is it on IG? IG has it didn't start until 15 minutes in.
Oh, let's see. Oh, I was right. I should have looked at it from here. I don't know because it froze on here. I don't know. Can we refresh it? It always does that to me when we go on.
Oh, okay.
When I try to share it,
Hmm.
it just refreshes.
Oh yeah. It does that to me too. Like the chat.
No, like the whole thing.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, and then you can't scroll down. It's a
right,
weird
but I
glitch.
can't
It's
even see
weird.
that I'm live. I can't see if I'm live right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of whack.
Well, while he digging around in there, I actually want to give some useful information than us just looking to uh, reliving the golden days. So, if you're interested in dating on an app, take your time and find which app works for you. Don't just go with what everybody else is on because there might be some things that are a little more niche that will give you better chance of success. They don't recommend you do a whole bunch of apps at once. They actually only recommend one app to avoid becoming overwhelmed, getting decision fatigue, or heightening the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Because even if you find somebody nice, you might be like, oh, this person is cool, but I know there's someone better. And then you just keep swiping and you end up never finding your unicorn of a person, but you threw out, a handful of really decent, awesome human beings. Um, what's next? Find a profile that works for you, a profile app that works for you. Um, like interesting things like Bumble is a female initiating app where women take the first step, which is dope for men, so they don't have to do as much as the work. And the women that message you are already interested in you in some way, shape, or form. Besides, so that's good. Um, take your time creating your profile. Most people recommend having 4 to 6 clear pictures of you with at least one being full body and without other people in it. Nobody wants to guess who you are or get DMs talking about your hot friend next to you. Don't post pictures that are revealing. Don't of your body. Don't post shirtless pics, guys. Don't post gym pics. Don't post lazy selfies, mirror selfies if you could help it. Um, post yourself doing things that you talk about in your interest. If your interest is my scuba diving, then maybe post a pic of you in the water with your snorkel gear on or whatever. It doesn't have to be or your scuba gear on or da da da. Or if you like playing basketball, maybe you have some pics of you, hitting that layup or finger roll, like kind of thing. Keep it short and sweet. Make sure you talk about your interests. Somebody, a little nudge suggests you come up with 5 words that summarize you or talk about things that make you stand out and incorporate those into your profile. Um, you want to be the best version of your authentic self. So, one, use recent pictures, use pictures that accurately reflect what you look like now. If I'm most likely to show up with my hair out like this, definitely have a picture of myself with my hair like this. Um, what else do they have? Short, sweet. Make sure it's not a list of what you don't want. Um, don't be negative. And if you can, leave a prompt. Leave a conversation starter. Leave something that'll aggravate somebody. Maybe you talk about your favorite team or something. Somebody will get a response. So something you gotta put a hook on there. Don't sit there and say I'm looking for my best friend. Don't say I like adventure. Everyone likes adventure. Everyone's looking for their best friend. Cool people or whatever. Try not to be cliche. Avoid cliches like the plague. Putooch. Um, uh,
If you're a girl and you like sports, put your team on there. It'll help. Go
oh
Mets,
hell yeah.
Lakers. Go niggas will respond to that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
sucker for
There's
that.
a lot of things. Also, like big things like hiking. Like the men who are into that, want to do that stuff with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you are into like Pilates, the exercise heads, the gym heads will like that. That's revealing something about you. Think about what you want these people to know about you. What's important that they know about you. All right, so you send a message, y'all match. Don't be chatting forever. Prompt people to if y'all vibing or whatever, prompt them to set up a date. Oh my gosh, I've been enjoying our conversation so much. I would love to carry this to do this in person. Or I love Italian food. What's your favorite restaurant? We should check it out sometime. Like, get to the date. Get to the date. And then it won't feel as interviewy either. I hate the small talk in the chat. Oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, where'd you grow up? Or how many do you have siblings? Stuff flows so much easier in conversation. It just comes out naturally. Don't try to force people out like an interview to, half that shit is not even important anyway. You're not asking about somebody's values, how they spend their time, their money. Always practice safe. Always meet somebody in public. Don't go over to people's houses for the first date. Always share details of your date with a friend or family member.
You said, oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely know girls who do that.
I'll fuck around and take a picture of your license plate. Katina will know your shit.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I've had women. I had a woman do a background check.
Yeah. So a certain friend who shall remain unnamed has run background checks for me before.
She said, yeah. I said, why did you do a background check? She said, I actually like you. I need to make sure. That's what she said.
Hold on, not just a background check. They say run a background check, run it through the offender registry.
The what registry?
Offender. And run it through your what's the local government? See if motherfuckers is married. So, anyways, those are just some little hints. Also, before you even get on a date, huh?
Nah, that's one not fair though.
You said that's not fair?
Niggas might have married somebody for the papers, you feel me? So they could get their papers.
Then you need to be upfront about that.
Not on the first date. That's not
I was dating while separated, so legally on married a paper I was married.
Say that again?
I was legally married and dating.
I get it, but that don't need to be said on the first date.
I'm gonna ask you if you're married.
On the first date?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Are you married? It's a very important question.
Well, if I was married, would I be?
I've also dated somebody who was married to somebody for money, so there's that too. I've seen. In fact, I've seen a couple of guys. I've only seen guys. I've seen guys like 3, 4 of them married to chicks for citizenship money.
Yeah, I almost did it once. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean,
she paid me a lot of money for 2007.
Is it green?
I was like, oh, you paying how much? I'll take that. That shit was like a third of my salary.
Yo, I can't.
I was with it.
Somebody said one question you should ask yourself before you get on a dating app is, would I date somebody like me? If you cannot enthusiastically answer that as yes, this is probably not for you. May I suggest therapy first?
No. Yes and no. I've been unpacking that for the past few months. I ain't gonna hold you. But it's not every part of me because I'm fucking dope. It's very, very specific parts of me. I won't talk about that yet. It's too deep.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, yes, I would date somebody that's like me. However, under the surface, that part of me, the vindictive side, the little petty side, how I can lose interest in somebody really, really easily if you do one weird thing. Yeah, that I'm like, damn, I can't date nobody. That can't be like me. I want to date somebody who's like me, but not me. Because there's some things that I do and don't do that I wouldn't tolerate from anybody else.
At least you have the awareness.
No, I don't feel like everything that I do and don't do. I don't feel like there's equality with that in any relationship. Nah, you don't do that, but I do it. So now that makes us more compatible. I don't feel like everything that I do or don't do, I need
Okay,
somebody
fair.
to don't do. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think it was so much as are you looking for yourself as much as should someone enjoy, do you have things, do should someone be happy, you should have your self-worth in check. That's more about what it is than having somebody or looking for yourself in other people, because I understand that, and that sometimes people are complimentary in that, yes, sometimes they don't do what you do, but sometimes what you do works for them, and sometimes what they do works for you. So yeah, no, I get that. That's cool. Other things. Dating apps are only fun if you're not deriving your self worth from it.
Say that again.
Dating apps are only fun if you're not deriving your self worth from them.
Mm. But isn't anything on social media like that?
Potentially, yes.
Mm.
Potentially, yes. Also, know what you're looking for because you cannot communicate. The more specific you are, the more likely you're going to find someone who likes you for being authentically you.
Indeed.
And don't be toxic. Don't be that person who doesn't. I'm not saying you gotta reply to everyone. For your mental health, you shouldn't be talking to more than like 4 or 5 people. You should put a limit. I'm not gonna tell you what's right for you, but if you're really trying to date, if you're trying to DM 20 people at one time, obviously 20 people are not going to be getting quality energy from you or interest. Um, but don't be that person who's there for a dopamine hit. Don't be the person who, rather than say, this is not really working, you just ghost. So there's toxic people on there as well. And if check in, if you're going to be sitting there, if you feel yourself worrying about or doubting your capability to be loved or find love, you might want to step away from it. If you're losing hope, you might want to stay away from it. If you're internalizing rejection or attention, you might want to step away from it. If it's making you anxious or depressed, you find yourself being overly suspicious of people. If you find yourself fantasizing about people you just met, um, if you're experiencing burnout or decision fatigue, just put the app in the little garbage can. Just take away. You could come back to it later. Just take it out. So,
So like
I mean,
people have. I remember a friend of mine. He would always when he wanted to like purge, he would delete Facebook, and I'm just like, why delete it? Just don't go on. And it took me a while to realize that that nigga was hooked. Only way to
you said
not
he
get
was a stalker.
hooked. Nobody said
Oh,
stalker.
okay.
Hooked. He was hooked to social
Oh,
media,
okay. Okay.
and he had. Where did he get stalker from? That was so crazy. Anyway, yeah. So he did his thing or whatever, and he would like delete it. Like that's the only back and not go on, and that shit was weird to me. But when you start to think about like the drug, dopamine hit, and this that, and the third, you start to look like, wow, no, a lot of people really need this, and it's crazy. Like when you look at the spirit of whatever's going on Earth, how they make people less connected to family, less connected to friends, uh, co-workers, students, uh, peers, right? And then they put you on social media that's like diabolical. It's just like I don't think any of that's a coincidence. I just don't. I don't think it's a coincidence because it's one thing to be lonely. It's another thing to be lonely and isolated. Because I felt alone in a room full of people, but I wasn't isolated. So I really,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because if everybody was getting the requisite amount of hugs, the requisite amount of energy, to make them feel validated just for being a human being, social media it doesn't play that way. And I realized that once I became way more healed as a person, I don't even like social media anymore. I know I have a bigger purpose, and social media is going to be an avenue through that, for that rather. But simultaneously, I was like, I don't need anybody. I don't need likes. I don't need comments. I don't need people to say, "Oh, your page is fun," or "That picture was nice," um, or "You look good on that vacation." I ain't need none of that. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for this, and some of the stuff that I want to do in the future, I would probably very rarely be on social media anymore. Like so rare. And because I found a love within myself that I didn't know the symptom of that lack of internal love was coming in the form of me being so active on social media.
Mm.
Once I got that love internally, I was like, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks. You know what I mean?
I told you that's why I can't do Twitter, because every time I start typing out my thoughts, I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's cool. I don't need anybody to agree with me or know I disagree or whatever.
Right,
It's cool.
right,
I cannot post on Twitter, yo.
right.
I love reading y'all stuff though. I love reading y'all stuff.
Word is fine.
So, anywho, good luck out there, guys.
Yeah, just get
You
it.
might see me. Give me a heart, a like, a swipe, whatever the fuck you.
I ain't
If you
about to
like my
see you,
profile,
man.
don't do it if you don't like my profile.
I ain't about to see me.
Let's see.
Any other final words? There's Africa.
No, it's a tool and it's a business, and y'all need to keep that at the forefront of your minds. Use it only as it serves you. Don't forget somebody's making money off of this, and so they might not be 100% invested in your relational happiness, but make it do what it do.
Make it do what it do.
Make it do what it do.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. If somebody come across and it's not work, bless. I love this. They said bless and release them. That's literally what I do to people. Go in peace. Be
That's it.
happy somewhere else. Say no. Practice using your nose in a nice way. It's just a nice little nose. All right.
Oh,
It was good talking to you. See, next week I'm gonna have my shit together, and I'll be able to interact with y'all on my Instagram.
next week, for everybody who's gonna watch, have your Valentine stories ready. I want to hear them. Best and worst Valentine.
I we did this last year, and I still don't remember.
Oh,
But all right, I'll do my best.
you had a week in the year. You have a week in the year.
All right, guys.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Love you. See you next week, Wednesday, 8:30 ish. Where'd you go, Devon? Oh my God, Lord. All right, guys.